Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd. It's our third day of curiosity and the art of enjoying life. Annette, did you say no on your morning walk today?
I did not say
Well,
no.
good for you.
Had a great walk today.
Awesome. Was it fun? Were you curious? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's so amazing to me when you just get a little bit of a new perspective, like going a different route and you see things from a whole new view that you've never seen before. It can really open your eyes to what's going on around you. I was talking with my dad, your husband, the other day, and he was pointing out a new house that's going up in your neighborhood. I didn't even notice that. It's not something I thought about. And then when he pointed it out, I can't not see it. He was looking at it from a different perspective than me. He had a little different angle. So when we don't say no and we're open and we're curious, who knows what we'll see? One thing that I wanted to bring up today, it gets into what our topic for today, and also it goes with not starting with no. This is about little kid Ada. So,
Little kid Ada.
this is about little kid Ada. You will remember this because you're my mom. Way back long ago, I'm going to laugh while I talk about this. Way back long ago, I would only eat white rice. I was so scared of eating brown rice. Do you remember this?
No.
I will never forget this because you are so kind. I was petrified. I'm not even sure why. Maybe I thought it was going to taste gross, but whenever we would serve a meal, I only wanted white rice. And you did so well. You mixed white rice and brown rice to let me see what it tasted like. And then you slowly transitioned so the meals would have brown rice because that's healthier. Looking back at those times when we're thinking with our no brain, that brain that closes the door before we've even looked inside, I think back to the fear I felt. I was so scared. I thought this was going to taste gross or something. I wasn't even sure. Looking back, like, why would I be so scared of trying something new? Maybe I was a little bit of a picky eater, but I was scared. And we could all be scared when we're starting with no. We're scared of what could happen. Maybe we're scared of failing. Maybe we're scared of getting our heart broken. Maybe we're scared of getting hurt in some other way. So these no's that we bring up, don't take them as there's something wrong with us or we're bad. Let's check in. If I'm saying no, what am I scared of? What's the fear here? Because who knows? Maybe there's a legitimate fear behind the no. Or the no could just be part of the story that we tell ourselves. Maybe we don't have the facts. Maybe we don't know the whole picture, but our brains are so good at telling a story to fill in all the gaps, to fill in all the blanks. But those assumptions that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell ourselves, they create limitations. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us small. Life becomes a small world in order to keep us safe, but the small world becomes a prison of its own. We're stuck and we won't go beyond the walls and limitations that we've created for ourselves. So yesterday, Annette, that was no different than me with brown rice. You had this great story of what could happen if you took a different route in the middle when you weren't fully prepared mentally. What could happen to Molly? Maybe she'll get a thorn in her paw. Who knows what kind of animal or creature or I don't know what could be out there. That was a story that you told yourself and it stopped you in your tracks. You had to stick with the same old game plan, the same old path, because the new path, switching before you were ready to switch or switching in the middle, was too much. That was the fear.
And the heavy heart that I felt yesterday helped me today. When we make those assumptions that, there's going to be something out there that I'm going to have to contend with, not prepared, we do create invisible limits. So then I'm just going to stick to this path. Also, what I've noticed, what I do, not necessarily yesterday, but just in my life, when I've told myself a story, that version of the story becomes so much my truth. Like, I know what's going to happen. letting go of those stories and letting go of what we completely believe inside is what we're working on this month. To question those stories and to look at our own interpretations of events and people and taking a walk on a different way, separating the facts from our interpretations. Because the fact is, using the example from yesterday, I had no idea what would happen. But I was interpreting that going a different way was going to take more time, cause me a hassle, be a little, oh my gosh, now I have to worry about something about Molly and I don't want to do that. We get into making these interpretations and we forget the facts. The facts are just taken a different way.
What you were just sharing reminded me of our week of attachment, detachment, and non-attachment from living a heart-led life. I can't think of how many times I've told myself the story that someone else doesn't care about me. Oh, they just don't care. I've said those words. I've said them to you about other people. They just don't care. They just don't give a rip about me. That was so eye-opening last month, where people can become so attached to the outcome that it's overwhelming, it's too much, and so they just go into I don't care. So the I don't care isn't really the fact. It might be my interpretation of the situation.
It's your story. Your story is I don't care.
It's the story, but the truth is they really care, but the situation is overwhelming. So those can be the stories that we tell ourselves, about other people. It can cause disconnection and rifts in relationships. And then when it comes to curiosity and the art of enjoying life, when we start with no, we can be telling ourselves a story. We can be making assumptions that then keep us stuck. And we've closed the door. We've said no before we ever gave something a chance because we're taking our story that's in our heads as the truth, as that fact, but it's just our story. Have you ever recognized in your life when you've told yourself a story rather than checking with the facts?
I used to tell myself stories about people. And that's where coaching has been one of the greatest gifts of my life. I would make assumptions about people. Typically, it would be, oh, I wouldn't have anything in common with them. Oh, their life looks like this and mine looks like that. Going into comparison, I think there's some of that too. I've noticed we all have more in common than the differences that we assume we have. And coaching has shown me that. I don't know if there's a client that's ever walked through our doors that I don't have something in common with. Especially in our world, we're taught to look for differences. So when we're taught to look for differences, we're just telling a story. We're all into making assumptions about ourselves and others. And that doesn't serve us. So that would be a time when, as the point that we're trying to make today, that we create invisible limits. I think we can do that about others. We can create limits in how we think we can relate to others. And we are disconnected when truly there's so much in common that we all have. But when we're coming from a story and we're telling ourselves that, oh, they're different, or they know more than I do, or they're lower. I'm not immune to thinking that someone is lower. I mean, we all do this. But that's not fair to us, because if we think someone is lower, we're wrong. There's something that we can learn from them, or a way that we can connect with them. If we think someone is higher, we're wrong there too. We all have equal value and we all have something to share. So that would be my answer to that question, Ada.
Thank you for sharing that and bringing that up so early in this month, because curiosity is not about trying brown rice for the first time when you're a kid. It's not about reading peanuts.
It can be,
but it's not only about that. It's not only about new adventures or new experiences. It's also a new way of relating to people and getting curious about who's in front of you. What was their life like? What's their story? And tuning in to what's on their hearts. So our intent for today is, I will question my assumptions. I will question my assumptions. Thank you so much for joining us today. our day is better because you are a part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.